Hi guys, I'm sorry I can't be there. I want to thank Sam and Indu and Heather for helping out and taking over in my absence. Appreciate it very much. I want to show you something really quick that I want you to try before you do your challenge today. So whenever you think about doing something in having the robot do something until a certain condition is met, then one way to do that is by using the wait block. So for example, let's say I want my robot to drive forward until the color sensor sees a black line on the ground. So basically I'm going to do that with 3 blocks. The first block is getting that robot to start moving. So I'm going to use a move steering block, and in this case I'm not turning it on for a certain number of degrees or rotations or seconds. I'm just turning it on. I just want those motors to start running. So double check your ports like normal. Check that you're in this condition. In this case, I want it to just go forward, and I'm going to choose 30% power. All right, so now my motors have started, and I want them to continue going until the color sensor sees the black line. So one way to do this, I'm going to use the wait block. And instead of waiting just a certain amount of time, I could do that. I want to wait until the color sensor sees a particular color. So I'm going to compare the value that the color sensor is reading to the value that I want to check, to compare against. All right, so here, what this is doing, my motors turn on at this point until the color sensor sees red. Well, I don't want red. I want to choose a different color. So I'm going to deselect red, and I'm going to select black. Okay. I need to also make sure the port is correct. Remember, if you run your program and it doesn't work, one of the first things to look at is that the ports are correct. Okay, so far I've started my motors, and I've sat here in my program with my motors running until the color sensor sees black. Now I go to the next part of my program. Well, what did I really want to do? I want my motors to move until they see that condition, until the color sensor sees black, and then I want to turn them off. So don't forget this last bit, which is to actually turn off the motors. That's a thing that sometimes when you're programming or doing something like this in your program, if you forget this little bit, it seems like the program isn't working well. It's still doing what you told it to do. You just never told it to turn off those motors. So generally, we're going to use sort of 3 blocks when we're working with this type of condition, this do something until something is specified. All right, so I want you to try this out. Let's do one more. I'm going to add program here. Oh, let's make this bigger so you can see it better. I will make it a little bit bigger. One more example. All right, so now let's say I want my motors to turn on. And again, I'm turning them just directly on. Let's go 50% power, forward. And I want to do that until, so I go to this flow control section and I grab my wait block. I want to do it until the ultrasonic sensor reads less than 20 centimeters. So let's say in this case, I have my robot going towards a wall or towards some obstacle. It'll go forward until the sensor reads less than, in this case, 50 centimeters. Well, let's change it. I want to go until it reads less than 20 centimeters. And I could do different things here. One of the parameters is how you're going to compare. And in this case, I'm looking at, I want to go forward until that ultrasonic is less than 20. Let's say I'm going away from, let's say I'm backing up away from a wall. Maybe I want to go backwards until the ultrasonic is greater than 50. So it's going to back up and go until it's a certain distance or until it's a little bit greater than that particular distance. All right, so, but in this case, I'm going forward until the ultrasonic sensor is less than 20 centimeters. And then what do I want to do after that? I want to stop. So I don't want to forget this block where I turn off the motors. All right, if you run this and it doesn't work, first thing you ever want to check when you're really starting to use sensors is the port correct for my robot? Look and see what port is your ultrasonic sensor plugged into, and make sure you select whichever port it is that your ultrasonic sensor is plugged into. All right, so I'd like you to try one or two of these. You can try it with the ultrasonic sensor, or you can try it with the color sensor. Either way, try it out. Make sure you understand how that works. Ask questions if you don't. Heather's expert at this. So great. I hope you enjoy this, and maybe you can use this in your challenge today. I wish I could be there. Hopefully you guys can take a couple of videos and send them to me. I'd love to see them. All right. Have fun today. Bye-bye.